Welcome to Lesson 5 in Unit 16, Pinball Wizards. In this lesson, students will work to answer the question, how can we change the strength of the magnetic force on our pinball machine? In this lesson, students continue to investigate magnets. They ask questions and plan and conduct a fair investigation to measure and compare the strength of force exerted by a magnet. Students figure out that the strength of a magnet can be measured through fair test strategies. Magnetic force can be measured by how many materials a magnet can hold. The magnetic force can be made stronger by combining them or by changing the distance between the magnet and an object. Students make connections to the storyline by applying what they've learned about magnetic force to add another trick to their pinball games. There are several opportunities for ELA and math cross-curricular connections throughout the lesson. You can look for specific standard connections in the Unit 16 Teacher Guide. This lesson will take approximately 3 to 4 days to complete. For the Engage portion, you'll begin the lesson by reviewing what students have already figured out in earlier lessons. You'll show students a pinball video and ask them what they notice and wonder. You'll revisit the driving question board. Add any new questions and highlight others connected to the learning goals of this lesson by calling attention to questions about the strength of magnetic force. For the Explore portion, you'll set up the strength of a magnet investigation. There is a teacher tutorial showing the setup, linked in the teacher guide. Pause the video here to review the materials needed from the kit for this investigation. You'll have students use the Strength of Magnetic Force student journal page to plan and conduct their investigations. They should record their data in their student journal. Please note that students can use the materials and choose to investigate the strength of a magnet in 2 different ways. The tables support both ways. For the Explain portion, you'll bring the class together and lead a discussion about students' observations from their Strength of a Magnet investigations. They can use the Strength of a Magnet Force student journal page to share their data. Use the provided questions to guide your discussion around the question, how can we change the strength of the magnetic force on our pinball machine? The goal of this class discussion is to analyze and compare student data to determine the strength of a magnet. Use the discussion to create the Lesson 5 summary chart. By the end of the discussion, students should understand that they can make a magnet stronger by using more magnets or by changing the distance between a magnet and an object. For the Elaborate portion, you'll have students return to the Designing Pinball Tricks student journal page from Lesson 4 to add or update a trick to their pinball games. Students should use arrows to show the magnetic force acting on the pinball. Once they've updated, you'll have students work in pairs to share their ideas. For the Evaluate portion, you'll have students complete the Magnetic Forces Quick Check student journal page. To support student sense-making across the unit, orient students back to the driving question board. Ask, what did we learn about changing the strength of a magnetic force? And what new questions do we have? By the end of this lesson, students will have asked questions about the strength of magnetic forces and planned and conducted an investigation to collect data about what affects the strength of magnetic force. In Lesson 6, students will investigate how magnets interact with other magnets. For more information about this unit, visit myscipartners.com.